With this event, the greater college community gathers together to celebrate the many accomplishments of the class of 2012. Take a minute to look around and see the other happy faces of those who have reasons to be proud of the members of this class. Believe it or not, the excitement for this day and pride for these young men and women stretches far beyond the physical scope of this dell. More than 18,000 alumni, including those watching online, are also simultaneously celebrating with us from their locations around the world, celebrating the achievements of the class of 2012, as well as their entry into the Elizabethtown College Alumni Association, where they will be Blue Jays always. This is truly a momentous occasion. Before the formal ceremony begins, I invite you to turn to your commencement program and read about the traditions associated with today's ceremony, such as the regalia that our faculty and staff and graduates will be wearing. The program and many graduates are recognized throughout the program, including the 16 seniors who completed the rigorous requirements of the Elizabethtown College Honors Program, the approximately 250 who were elected to one of the college's honoraries, and the 60 who were recognized as a college scholar or a distinguished student. We've also noted that the graduate's name will have an indication beside it for those who have completed the requirements for honors in their discipline or who have graduated with Latin honors. At this very moment, our graduating students are saying their final farewells to faculty and staff in the college's traditional serpentine on the walkway in front of the Masters and Hoover Centers at the other end of campus. The graduates will then lead the faculty, staff, trustees, who will be robed in light blue, members of the 50-year Golden Reunion class of 1962, and the President's Party across campus here to the Dell for the formal commencement ceremony and conveying of degrees. Note that ushers are stationed throughout the Dell if you have any questions or need assistance. There are also several water stations located nearby for your convenience. Restroom facilities are located on the first floor of Royer Hall and Meyer Hall, should you need them. Special needs restrooms are located in the rear of Meyer Hall, and signs within the buildings will help you find your way. A professional photographer from Island Photography is recording the conferral of degrees for every graduate. Your family will soon receive information about the purchase of these photographs. The organization's website is listed in the notes at the bottom of page 5 in the program, and contact information is provided on the college's commencement website. We ask that all people who wish to photograph graduates treat each other with respect and courtesy and respect the solemnity of this great occasion. Today, Ms. Sherry Albert, an adjunct faculty member in our Department of Modern Languages, will be interpreting the ceremony for those who are deaf and hard of hearing. We thank her for her service. In just a few minutes, the ceremony will begin. Thank you for being a part of this special day, and to all of you, congratulations.
I invite all who are willing to join me in prayer. Almighty and eternal God, source of all wisdom, hope for our world, you have made each of us in your image and placed within us the potential for greatness. You have told us that when we have knowledge and wisdom, we have treasures more precious than jewels that moth and rust cannot corrupt and thieves cannot steal. Thank you, O Lord, for the achievements of the members of the class of 2012 and the accomplishments of our esteemed faculty and administration. Lord of heaven and earth and lover of all creation, you alone know the unique potential within each one of us and the dreams and aspirations we harbor deeply within our hearts. As the members of the class of 2012 and all of us continue to explore the meanings and purposes of our lives, help us to so unite the world of work and the world of the spirit so that our earning of a paycheck also reflects our highest ideals and our passions. Help us, O Lord, not to distort the divine spark within us by being concerned with our own importance, and remind us that you exalt the humble and honor the least. Fill us with an unquenchable desire to engage the suffering, bigotry, hatred, and violence in our world as we unrelentingly pursue your truth, your justice, and your love. In the name of all that is holy, we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I welcome all gathered here today to celebrate the achievements that have culminated in this significant milestone for the members of the class of 2012. Congratulations, you did it. To the members of the graduating class, may I ask you to pause a moment. Let your mind and eyes look out across this great setting here in the Dell. Across campus, with all the structures, both old and new, the programs, classes, experiences you shared during your time at Elizabethtown. Now let me ask just the members of the class of 2012 to stand and recognize your parents, grandparents, family members, faculty, staff, and the members of the previous 108 graduating classes, all who made the commitment and provided the support to assist you in reaching this dream. You can be seated, thank you. Today, we find ourselves in the midst of global economic uncertainty. But within this uncertainty lies significant opportunity for you to contribute to the articulation of new ideas and concepts that can create a better world for your generation and generations to come. Your time here at Elizabethtown has provided you service learning, experiences with emphasis on a global understanding of our heritage, the values of peace, justice, and human dignity. These experiences should give you the confidence that you can have impact and provide leadership in crafting new ideas for a better tomorrow. But for today, sit back, enjoy, and celebrate this wonderful milestone in your life. Congratulations.
Thank you, Elizabeth. You may be seated. Generous parents, beaming alumni, cherished faculty, hardworking staff, proud family members, sage trustees, and most of all, impressive, eager, and learned class of 2012. Welcome to Elizabethtown College's 109th commencement. We are here today to join in a ceremony. The French historian Marc Bloch tells the wonderful story that over 1,000 years ago, the illiterate peasants of European villages, when they had to make a contract or a covenant, would sometimes gather round the children to witness the ceremony. Without the written word, those children would be the living memory of that contract. Their elders told them, "Remember this day." With cell phone cameras, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and eternal computer backups, we hardly need worry that the record of this day will be lost. Yet, in another sense, we know that the most powerful memories we will take away are those written in the language of the heart. Those who founded Elizabethtown College did so with the watchwords, "Educate for service." Graduates of 2012, you have learned and written on your hearts what those words mean. Now, moving forward you will have the chance to awe us with how you can live out those words in your lives. You have learned great things. You will do great things. It is in order to celebrate your achievements, to pay homage to that noble calling of the life of learning to which this college is dedicated, and yes, to share a few last words of wisdom that we gather here today. We will celebrate, we will rejoice over your accomplishments, and yes, we will remember this day. Thank you and welcome to the ceremony. Provost Traverso, would you please now present the candidate for the honorary degree?
Dr. Pauline Yu, will you please step forward? Dr. Pauline Yu, President of the American Council of Learned Societies since July 2003, brings a rich and varied background to the pursuit of humanistic knowledge and understanding. She served as Dean of Humanities in the College of Letters and Science and the Professor of East Asian Languages and Cultures at the University of California, Los Angeles. She was founding chair of the Department of East Asian Languages and Literature at the University of California, Irvine, and served on the faculty of Columbia University and the University of Minnesota. Dr. Yu earned her Bachelor's of Arts in History and Literature from Harvard University and her Master of Arts and Doctorate in Comparative Literature from Stanford University. She is the author or editor of 5 books and dozens of articles on classical Chinese poetry, literary theory, comparative poetics, and issues in the humanities, and she has received fellowships from the Guggenheim Foundation, the American Council of Learned Societies, and the National Endowment of the Humanities. She was awarded the William Riley Parker Prize in 2007 for the best article in the publications of the Modern Language Association of America. A fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, and an elected member of the American Philosophical Society and the Committee of 100. She is on the Academy's National Commission on the Humanities and Social Sciences. She serves on the Board of Trustees of the National Humanities Center and the Board of Directors of both the Teagle Foundation and the CCK Foundation for International Scholarly Exchange and the Scholars Council of the Library of Congress. In addition, she is a trustee of the Asian Cultural Council and the American Academy in Berlin, and a member of the governing board of the Heyman Center for the Humanities at Columbia University and the Board of Governors of the Hong Kong American Center. From 2003 until 2009, she served on the Board of Overseers of Harvard University. Dr. Yu is an adjunct senior research scholar and visiting professor in the Department of East Asian Languages and Cultures at Columbia University. Dr. Yu's commitment to the complex history of humanistic learning and expression through the study of sociology, psychology, anthropology, culture, language, and religion is the foundation for her leadership of the American Council of Learned Societies. She has created opportunities for ACLS and its scholars to contribute on a global scale. Through her leadership, Dr. Yu has helped expand the traditional focus of the humanities in America to embrace a wider international perspective, and with partners such as the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation, has supported hundreds of scholars and social scientists in the pursuit of producing major works of scholarship for the next generation of students. It is in recognition of her championing of the cause of the humanities, her commitment to joining together learned societies for the betterment of mankind, and her dedication to understanding the intricacies of the human experience that I am honored, Mr. President, to present Dr. Pauline Yu, a true lifelong learner, for the degree of Doctors of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
In recognition of high achievement, and by virtue of the authority vested in me as president of Elizabethtown College by the Board of Trustees and by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I confer upon you, Dr. Pauline Yu, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. In testimony of this degree, I now present to you your diploma and doctoral hood.
Wow, thank you so much, all of you. But most important, class of 2012, congratulations to you. You've made it. Congratulations on your many achievements, and to those who helped get you here, parents, relatives, friends, faculty, staff, and the leadership of the college. I'm truly delighted to be joining you on your first day as alumni of Elizabethtown College, and to share with you the honor of receiving an E-Town degree. Here on this glorious day in the verdant hills of South Central Pennsylvania, we're commemorating the great lineage of learning stretching back centuries to which you now belong. Our quaint medieval costumes help to make that connection visible. But they also have more modern purposes. I noticed that many of you have taken advantage of your flat mortar boards to send messages to the assembled crowd and to the heavens above. One should always express important thoughts in concise language on an important occasion. If your cap says, "Thanks, Mom and Dad," that's noble sentiment. Generations of Chinese sages would applaud your expression of filial piety. But the mortar board messengers among you may be practicing a soon-to-be-lost art. Could it be perhaps only a matter of time when today's cloth cap is replaced by a flat screen? Think of it. A new smart hat will allow digital downloads of texts and images. Software engineers could develop cap apps that will create ever more clever designs. It is innovations like these that spring from liberal arts colleges like Elizabethtown, which I discovered this morning in my room, has already succeeded in making us nuts about granola. The institution of the Liberal Arts College is one of our nation's finest inventions, one that has equipped generations of graduates, thanks to the breadth of studies and truly engaged faculty, not just with a mass of facts, but for a future of relentless inquiry and continual discovery. I often quote my friend Pat McPherson, who served as president of Bryn Mawr College for 19 years, and who said that the purpose of a liberal arts education is to make your head a more interesting place to live inside of for the rest of your life. I know you've done that. Be thankful for it and keep the doors open. And I know you will, for the mission of Elizabethtown, after all, is to prepare its students for a life of learning. It's an interesting coincidence, but for the past 3 decades, as President Strickwerder knows, my organization, the American Council of Learned Societies, asks a distinguished senior scholar every year to deliver a major address with that very same title, A Life of Learning, an intellectual autobiography that recounts his or her growth in knowledge and accomplishment. The lecturer's stories are each different from each other, each distinctive, but they make one point in common. Questions, tough questions, puzzling questions, sometimes uncomfortable questions, mark the steps they took on their ascent. You may be commencing life as a graduate, but you're not concluding your career as a student of life. Keep asking and keep questioning and keep climbing. Follow the next question, take the next step in your life of learning. In 2012, we're in the midst of a seemingly tumultuous presidential campaign, but a century ago, the electoral canvas was even more animated. Those of you who studied American history know that in the general election of 1912, there were 4 major candidates on the ballot, one of whom was Eugene V. Debs of the Socialist Party, who received nearly 1 million votes. The man who was elected president that year, Woodrow Wilson, was a former university president, for he had led Princeton before becoming governor of New Jersey.
It's hard to imagine candidates of either profile on our ballots today, so much has our political culture changed in the past century. Now, it's not surprising that Wilson had distinctive views on the importance of higher education, but so did another of his 1912 opponents, Theodore Roosevelt, the candidate of the Progressive or Bull Moose Party, which he'd formed after losing the Republican nomination to the incumbent president, William Howard Taft. I'm not sure anyone has affirmed the career value of higher education in quite the same way as did Teddy Roosevelt. As he said, a man who has never gone to school may steal from a freight car, but if he has a university education, he may steal the whole railroad. I think it's fair to say that Woodrow Wilson's theory of higher education was a bit different from Roosevelt's. One of his best remembered essays was entitled Princeton in the Nation's Service. The purpose of college, he asserted, was to prepare students for the grave duties of citizens and neighbors. And, he continued, it is the duty of an institution of learning set in the midst of a free population and amid signs of social change to illuminate duty by every lesson that can be drawn out of the past. It sometimes comes about that the man who has traveled in the realms of thought brings lessons home with him which make him grave and wise beyond his fellows. May you, class of 2012, be such men and women. In quoting President Wilson, I'm not bringing anything new to you. I know that service is a core ethic of Elizabethtown College, enshrined in its motto, Educate for Service, and surely embedded now in your DNA. But you should prize what has become an increasingly endangered notion in this country, the ideal that a strong system of higher education serves the public good has faded and frayed. What dominates now instead is the conception that the prime value of education is private gain, better jobs, higher incomes, larger homes, faster cycles on the hamster wheel of affluence. I think this is a deeply limiting view. Now, don't get me wrong. Education, especially a liberal arts education like yours, does equip a person for many different careers and for the changes in careers, work styles, and workplaces that are inevitable and accelerating. And you may well prosper as a result. But I think the public valuation of education needs to be more than the sum of many private benefits. Just as Woodrow Wilson reminded Princeton students that their education carried with it the obligation to be an engaged citizen and perhaps literally a public servant, I urge you to fulfill the mission of this college, to be exemplars of how the life of learning you have enjoyed at Elizabethtown can be the foundation of sustained learning and service that benefits not just yourselves, but your families, your communities, and your nation. And indeed, in the 21st century, we should expand Wilson's notion from the nation's service to the global good, or perhaps with Mars right in town here, an interplanetary one. It requires no keen insight to conclude that the commercial, economic, and cultural interconnectedness of the world's many peoples must be grounded on principles and ethics of global citizenship. In offering that conclusion, I don't mean that we should forsake our national loyalty. Those of us fortunate to live in democracies like ours must strive to ensure that our institutions are vibrant and strong. But in an era when cross-cultural connectivity increasingly links us all, we must also seek to understand the complex traditions, challenging languages, and weighty histories of our fellow passengers on this planet. Of course, this is sometimes more difficult than you'd think it should be for otherwise educated people. Some years ago, when I had just moved to California from New York, one of my new colleagues, an influential French scholar, said to me that I must miss New York very much. Now, I did happen to harbor mixed feelings about the move, but I was also curious as to what lay behind his comment. So I responded by asking him why he thought that should be so. And he replied, because you're now so much farther away from China. Needless to say, this was not the answer I expected. Kind of a curious expression of postmodern Eurocentric geography, in which you reach Asia from California by way of Paris. Well, so how can we best integrate the study of diverse world areas into the intellectual framework of the liberal arts? Responsible leaders in higher education, including President Strickwerda and the college's faculty and trustees, are thinking hard about this question. Globalization is a term that's often exasperatingly imprecise, one with a planetary margin of error. And it's too often thought of in a purely business context. Legislators and policymakers clamor for more internationalization, but in their eyes, it's only to ensure economic competitiveness. And I think that's far too narrow a reason. There's no question that opportunities will abound as the People's Republic of China, for example, becomes a consumer's republic, although recent news reports may make us wonder how long that can continue. But mere wealth should not be the final object. There are intellectual riches to be gained in the knowledge of the world's many cultures and voices. And as we learn about other cultures, we grow in the understanding of ourselves. The late Suzanne Rudolph, a distinguished scholar of South Asia, put it well. The study of another civilization, she wrote, is not a one-way street in which we study them. It is a two-way process. We also study ourselves. Exploring another civilization makes evident the historically constructed nature of our self-understanding, even as we confront the constructed nature of our understanding of other non-Western cultures. Students can learn to be reflexive about themselves and their civilization. Well, graduates, in accord with venerable traditions of commencement speeches, I must conclude with one last word of advice for you. I know you've sat through 4 years of lectures, seminars, labs, papers, and exams, but please bear with me for a few minutes more, and I promise there will be no test afterward. No test, that is, but life itself. My advice to you is to cherish farewells. We think of farewells as poignant moments, and this commencement is surely one of them. Farewells bear the weight of feelings equal to the emotional and moral energy invested in what you are leaving or in who is leaving you. If in life you journey far, if you build many friendships and loves, if each encounter with a new place or new work can be meaningful to you, then you will experience many farewells. But think of it. If your goodbyes are easy, you may have to ask yourself why you've left so little behind. For the Chinese poets I study, the farewell poem was an important and required composition of all government officials, who were frequently being transferred so they wouldn't get too cozy where they were posted. Most poets, as educated persons, were government bureaucrats or aspired to careers as public servants, which was the highest calling. All officials had to be able to compose poetry. In fact, the ability to do so was tested on the civil service examination for centuries. Imagine what politics would be like here if that were the case. Anyway, let me conclude by reading one of the most understated yet elegiac of these poems, Farewell to a Friend, written by the beloved 8th century poet Li Bai. Green hills edge the northern ramparts, white waters wind round the east city wall. Once departed from this place, a lone tumbleweed flies a myriad miles. Floating clouds, a traveler's thoughts. Setting sun, an old friend's feelings. Waving hands you go from here. Horses neigh gently as they leave. As you wave hands and leave Elizabethtown, though maybe in cars rather than carriages, you'll surely take with you many thoughts and feelings. I hope that these will make the myriad miles of your own life's travels a journey of continued learning, deep commitment, and dedicated service to humankind on this great globe. And may they bring you much pleasure and joy as well. Congratulations, and thank you again.
Will the candidates for master's degrees please rise? Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty, I present the candidates for the degree of Master of Science.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as president of Elizabethtown College by the Board of Trustees and by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I confer upon you, each and all, as listed in the official program, the degree of Master of Science, with all the rights and privileges thereto. In testimony of these degrees, I will now present your diplomas. Please come forward as your name is called.
Tabitha Ann Bailey, Taylor Marie Botter, Elizabeth Courtney Balmer, Caitlin Marie Bridgman, Lauren Elizabeth Carmichael, Emily Marie Carrier, Allison M. Kavanaugh, Nicole Marie Davis, Bethany Christine Diefendorfer, Alexandra L. Gold, Colleen M. LaForge, Jenna Lee Miller, Stephanie Ann Mussett, Brenna Elizabeth Noon, Lauren Marie Ott, Elisa Ann Parento, Brenda Marie Piaskowski, Kate Amelia Rasmussen, Stephanie Sherrick, Rachel Christine Sullivan, Danielle Elise Zabrowski.
Will the candidates for baccalaureate degrees please rise? Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty, I present the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Music.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as president of Elizabethtown College by the Board of Trustees and by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I confer upon you, each and all, as listed in the official program, the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, and Bachelor of Music, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. In testimony of these degrees, I will now present your diplomas. Graduates, you may now move your tassels to the left of your caps. Please come forward as your name is called.
Amanda Beth Knights, Abdallah Jafar Atta Al-Fayyad, Laura Whitney Bach, Andrew Lee Barnes, Tiffany Lynn Bacher, cum laude, Ross Michael Benincasa, Carrie Elizabeth Betts, Emily N. Blair, cum laude, Brianna Dawn Brown, Shannon Eileen Brown, Randy E. Burkholder, Caitlin Amber Carroll, Christy Nicole Castellini, Taryn B. Cherry, Elizabeth Ann Christner, Kelly Jean Clayton, Sean Patrick Corcoran, Chelsea Elizabeth Cornwell, Jessica Renee Dales, cum laude, Chelsea Elaine Decker, Hannah Elizabeth Desmond, Rebecca Jean Dowling, magna cum laude. Sean Deach. Elizabeth Catherine Elwood. Laura Ashley Farnish, cum laude. Christina Foss. Lauren Elizabeth Foster. Jessica Ann Fontanilla, cum laude. Benjamin Mitchell Galanik. Gina Marie Gallardi. Ryan John Gartman, cum laude. Tana Lee Gibble, cum laude. Crystal May Greenewalt, magna cum laude. Lauren Teresa Hamilton, cum laude. Michelle L. Hare, magna cum laude. Kelsey Colleen Hayes. Jennifer Marie Heimbach, cum laude. Kristen Danielle Hendricks, magna cum laude. Mallory Rose Fosnacht Hendricks. Lauren Rochelle Herman. Rachel Elizabeth Hoffer. Samantha Marion Hugg. Andrea M. James. Megan Elizabeth Jones, magna cum laude. Jessica Dawn Yunke. Elizabeth Ann Karcha. Maggie May Kiefer. Nadine Cannell. Rebecca Lynn Kessler. Kayla Kathleen King. Sarah Ann Clapper Lehman. Julie Ann Klasky, cum laude. Jennifer Elizabeth Clay. Glenn Patrick Knight. Amanda Lee Kowalski, cum laude. Kelsey Jill Levan, cum laude. Jacqueline Elizabeth Light. Nicole Marie Lipari. Daniel J. Littell. Rebecca Elizabeth Long, magna cum laude. Tess Alexandra Lutz, cum laude. Paul Vincent Mackey, magna cum laude. Renee Salome Martin. Reva Joyce May. Kelly McCormick. Huntley Claire McGowan. Alyssa Layla Islin McNicholas. Caitlin McQuaid, magna cum laude. Craig Herbert Meany. Shelby Lynn Meyerhofer. Shayna M. Mahovics. Jamie Alexandra Miller. Caitlin Susan Miller. Maxim Minin. Chelsea Lauren Mitchell. Duncan McGee Murphy. Kenneth Tomohito Nakagawa. Sarah F. Newman. Michael James Newman. Tyler R. Norton. Daniel James Obold. Allison Marie O'Boyle, summa cum laude. Thomas L. Paget. Michael James Pinto. Alyssa Danielle Poindexter. Barbara Frances Prince, magna cum laude. Kevin M. Protak. Samantha R. Reddles. Emily M. Reigert, magna cum laude. Laura Therese Robbins. Frances B. Rubis. Nicole Elizabeth Rush. Kelly N. Soursop. Rachel Regina Marie Saul, magna cum laude. Caitlin I. Sherrick. Julie Devon Sebastian. Claire Sedney. Catherine Fidelia Shaken. Amanda R. Shank. Michael John Shields, magna cum laude. Jennifer Claire Simpson. Bethany Erin Sin. Christina Denise Smith. Stephanie Lynn Smith, cum laude. Nicole Marie St. Pierre. Lucas Robert Starsinik. Maggie Lynn Stromoski. Caitlin Jeanette Strunk. Lindsay C. Summers. Janie Louise Shebist. Crystal Alethea Talley. Jacob David Steltz Teskey. Rachel Lauren Thorne. Christopher Adam Jaden. Maureen Elizabeth Town. Nicole Marie Triner. Henry Mattia Tucker. Caitlin May Vidic, magna cum laude. Taylor Michelle Wamba. Mark S. Weber. Lawrence William Weiss, Jr. Douglas E. Wilson. Samantha Rose Wingrove. Rebecca Lauren Wisner, magna cum laude. Ashley Marie Jagielniski, magna cum laude. Rohue Zhang. Tiana Scott Ziegler. Michelle Ann Adams. Saida Farwa Ahmad, magna cum laude. Patrick Wilson Albor. Brian Edward Alport. Jacqueline R. Armstrong, magna cum laude. Franklin Garrett Arnold. Manrique Arrea Cascante. Tet Duin Ang. Francisco Javier Ayala. Jonathan Bacher. Elizabeth Christina Barr. Clayton Joseph Belcher, Jr. Marcy Elizabeth Bennett. Chelsea Ann Benson. William Bentley. Kristen Elizabeth Berzonsky. Kira Helene Blom, cum laude. Kirsten Renee Bollinger. Derek R. Boyer, magna cum laude. Stephen M. Boyer. Erica Brielle Bross. Nevin Lee Brown. Susana Maria Brown. Jade Nicole Buffenmeyer. Matthew Peter Butera, cum laude. Audra Nicole Byerly, magna cum laude. Gregory Causeglia. Kristen Marie Cheney. Dawn Quing Chi, summa cum laude. Allison Margaret Cochran. Jeffrey R. Cochran. Alexandra Catherine Conti. Brendan Michael Corcoran. Elizabeth K. Costello. Anthony S. Kraut. Jennifer Ann Cummings. Brittany Virginia Diutolo. Daniel Dwight Darko. Evan James DeArmond. Kyle F. Deeds. Nicholas Salvatore Del Judas. Lauren Elizabeth Duffy. Stephanie J. Elwood, cum laude. Kristen Marie Endress, cum laude. Robert Quinton Eno. Katie Lynn Evans, magna cum laude. Michael Evarista. Devin Elizabeth Favinger. Devin Jeanette Felder. Brian John France. Matthew Grant Pantaleo Friedman. Barbara Elizabeth Fretz. Melissa Ann Frey, summa cum laude. Rebecca Ann Frischkorn, cum laude. Katie Gray Gantz, summa cum laude. Chelsea Anna Gibson. Stephanie Suzanne Gingrich, cum laude. Colin Matthew Glass. Jordan Nicole Godfrey. Timothy Joseph Goldcamp. Amrit Sigismund Gordon Jr. Corey Green. Caitlin Marie Grimes. Drew Katsumi Hanaoka. Stephen John Harris Jr., cum laude. Daniel J. Hart, summa cum laude. Samantha C. Hartzell. Erin Teresa Healy. Taylor Christian Helsel. Daniel Richard Henricks. Cole Pendergast Herbst. Megan M. Harriman. Kent R. Hersom, cum laude. Aaron Ethan Hester. Ashton Lee Haight, cum laude. Catherine Ann Hauser. Mitchell Douglas Hughes, cum laude. Ashley Lynn Huttenstein. Jessica Lauren Impellizzeri, cum laude. Madrid Soleil Jaramillo Cattell. Natalie Jean Jensen. Erin Ruth Johnson, cum laude. Leanne Michelle Johnson. Zachary T. Johnson. Derek L. Karsten. Kathleen Hannah Cosson. Benjamin Aaron Katz. Kristen Ann Kilpeck. Joseph Scott Klinger. Sarah Lauren Knapp. Garrett Charles Reynolds Cope. David A. Cole Jr. Catherine Patricia Krise. Lauren Paige Chrissinger, cum laude. Christina Olga Lancelotti, magna cum laude. Rachel Elizabeth Large. Charles J. Larson. Todd Michael Leister. Alexander Abraham Liebergall. Emily Marie Longenecker. Callum David Luff, magna cum laude. Colin Patrick Lynch. Alexandra L. Magnolo. Jenna Marie Mayurella, cum laude. Shad Osama Mansour, magna cum laude. Allison Louise Marco. Allie Marie Martin. Amanda Faye Martin. Kelly Marie Matthews, cum laude. Jenna Lynn Maddox. Matthew John Matthias, cum laude. Haley Elise Mazur. Gregory McCann. Erin Marie McCarthy, cum laude. Kyle M. McConnell. Kathleen C. McGuire. Tiffany Rochelle McClelland. William J. Meany Jr. Lauren M. Mellinger, magna cum laude. Catherine Regan Merck. Elizabeth M. Michael. Chelsea Elizabeth Miller, summa cum laude. Christopher P. Miller. Colby Takahashi Miller, cum laude. Danielle Elizabeth Miller. Sierra Elizabeth Miller, magna cum laude. Ezra Metzler Minter. Zachary H. Mitchell. Gianfranco Raimondo Moy. Ashton Ray Morgan, cum laude. Cody Morrison. Stephen Ernest Motika. Emily Mullen. Patrick Joseph Mulligan. Mara Tierney Mulvaney. Holly Marie Naradko. Derek R. Nyheiser. Alyssa Neal. Brittany Marie Nelson. Kristen Marie Nelson. Seth Harlan Nelson. Lee A. Nevitt, cum laude. William Miles Newton, summa cum laude. Hung Chuan Yingwen. Christopher R. Niles. Allison L. Oberg, magna cum laude. Sean William O'Neill. Rebecca S. Page. Jill Eva Patrick. Danielle S. Patton. Daniel S. Patton. Amber Nicole Petrucci. Autumn Brooke Phillips. Sarah Allison Poole. John F. Puzo. Andrea Lynn Raffensperger. Muhammad Arslan Rashid. Emily Louise Rodensky. Matthew Charles Nelson Reed. Eric James Reichert, cum laude. Matthew David Rice, magna cum laude. Dana Michelle Richmond. Jeffrey D. Ryder. Matthew Thomas Rimby. Gabriel Benjamin Robison, magna cum laude. Caitlin Roderick. Christina Maria Rodriguez. Haley Elizabeth Rosser. Timothy Edward Rosser. Charles Alexander Rubis. Catherine Michelle Ruby, cum laude. Andrew Charles Sauls. Cassandra M. Savitz. JC Lynn Scanapico. Kira M. Scantlebury, magna cum laude. Andrew Michael Scheid, summa cum laude. Allison Joy Schimpf. Danielle Marie Schultz. Kelly Megan Seymour, cum laude. Alexander R. Shambach. Elizabeth Hope C. Sharp. Sean Patrick Sheehan, magna cum laude. Joseph L. Shute, cum laude. Andrew Ryan Sides. Liesel Marie Sieber. Daniel Jonathan Silver. Ayusha Sinha. Ryan John Cisbaro. Heather Michelle Slifko, summa cum laude. Karen Elizabeth Soto. Russell Leith Speeden, cum laude. Amanda E. Sprague. Brant Steele Stannert, cum laude. Elizabeth Marie Starkey, magna cum laude. Ashley Nicole Stoops, cum laude. Sarah Alice Stroaker. Julie Strolson. Melanie Christine Sturm, summa cum laude. John C. Tellis, summa cum laude. Paige Thornton. Maggie May Troutman, cum laude. Amanda Marie Tyson, magna cum laude. Christopher Ugarte Vilmas. Emily Angeline Ulrich, cum laude. Amanda Rachel Vane, summa cum laude. Andrew James Vanderpool, cum laude. Lauren Elizabeth Vigurs, cum laude. Elizabeth S. Vinciguerra. Mark A. Vogel. Dylan A. Waddell. Benjamin Wally. Kristen Marie Wallace. Jennifer Louise Warner, summa cum laude. Lauren Ann Watt. Andrea Lynn Weaver, cum laude. Valerie Lynn Weaver. Eric K. Weber. Mark Christian Weber, magna cum laude. Allison Acker Wells. Zachary Max Wendler. Brian Michael Wenger. Ruth Ellen Wentz, cum laude. Stephanie Renee Wenzel. Samantha Conley Weidman. Nikita Grace Wigoda, magna cum laude. Stephen K. Wilczek. Larissa Monique Whitty. Mark William Yorgi, cum laude. Jason Tyler Farwell Young. Lauren Ashley Young, cum laude. Brittany Ann Zakarchenko. Joseph Edward Zielinski Jr. Sarah Elizabeth Biedka. Erin Amanda Berg. Stephanie Louise Crawford, summa cum laude. Danielle Susan Fishman. Melissa J. Gerner. David Jacob Hideman. Pauline Elizabeth Jarvie. Elena Lynn Lurch, magna cum laude. Danielle Elizabeth Moyer, magna cum laude. Charles James Rapucci Jr. Julia Adelaide Schaefer. Elizabeth Ann Shea, cum laude.
Congratulations, graduates. President Strickwerder will now confer commemorative medallions upon the members of the Elizabethtown College class of 1962 who could be with us on this occasion in honor of their 50th anniversary of graduation. Please come forward as your name is called.
Dr. Harry F. Bell. Sylvia A. Hickson Belsner. Dr. Glenn R. Bucher. Mary K. Gladfelter Bucher. Raymond T. Cameron. Ilsa Langer Daly. Martha A. Epley. The Reverend E. Loy Garber. Lois K. Herr. Dr. Francis X. Hurley. Dr. Linda V. Itzo. Elwood R. Kirkeslager. Dr. Dale Z. Kilhefner. Dr. E. Virginia Wills Merriam. Marjorie Förster Poorman. Carl E. Rischel. Judy Nesbitt Schrack. Dr. Ronald L. Schubert. John A. Singer.
Class of 2012, we did it. After what seems like short years of hard work, late nights, and plenty of memories, here we are. Standing here in front of all of you is kind of bittersweet. On one hand, I'm glad that I'll never have to spend another night on one of those college mattresses or have to stand in line for 15 minutes to wait for express printing. But on the other hand, for a lot of us, this is goodbye. When I first sat down to write this speech, I was completely lost about what to say to all of you. Granted, That might partially have been because John Puzo was DJing in the quads and blasting Rihanna's We Found Love. But mostly, I just didn't know how to summarize the last 4 years. And while it might be cute to ask you to think back to who you held hands with on the first year walk, or funny to reference the time Frank Arnold accidentally pulled down his pants during Mr. E-Town, I wanted to look ahead to the future. After all, as I'm sure many of you have been told hundreds of times lately, this is a new beginning. I'd be lying if I told you the future is going to be easy. We're all well aware of the condition of the economy and the job market that we're trying to enter, either now or after grad school. So to those of you that have already found jobs, congratulations and good luck. But to those that are still looking, hang in there. E-Town has prepared us for the months ahead, and the right opportunity will present itself. And if it doesn't, well, maybe the world actually will end in December, and then we'll only have to spend 7 months being unemployed. My mom has told me multiple times over the past couple of years how she would hate to be growing up in a time like this, when job opportunities aren't as abundant and getting started on your own isn't as easy as it used to be. Well, Mom, for the first time ever in my life, I'm going to disagree with you. I think growing up in these times has the ability to build great character in us. When you grow up in a society that expects you to balance full-time college coursework and a part-time job while staying involved in school clubs and volunteering, while of course having fun and not growing up too fast, you learn a few things. First of all, you learn time and stress management. You learn how to prioritize and to conquer one task at a time. You learn when to ask for help. You learn that the same people who drive you crazy and challenge you are actually helping you grow and become a better person. You learn how to work with others who are different from you to reach a common goal. You learn that your own attitude determines the tone for each day. And while there's no place like home, you learn a greater sense of independence. But even if you haven't learned any of that, you've learned the meaning of hard work. And I know all of you have, because I've seen it. Over the past 4 years, I've gotten to know many of you and learned about the struggles you faced before and during your time here at Elizabethtown. And even if I never got the chance to have that deep conversation with you, I've at least seen the dark circles under your eyes because of the all-nighter you just had to pull to finish that research paper. No matter the barriers that you faced, big or small, you fought through it and you made it. That's something I can confidently say about this class. If we're given a challenge, we can overcome it. One of the challenges that was posed to all of you this year was in regards to our class gift. After doing a survey of the class last spring, it was decided that we would help renovate the President's Courtyard to provide an enhanced outdoor meeting and learning space for future students. This is quite an ambitious endeavor, and since the class of 2009 had a similar idea that was never fully implemented, we sought them out to see if they wanted to collaborate and combine funds. They agreed on one condition, that 50% of our class must participate in donating to the class gift. Well, class of 2012, it is with great pride that I stand before you today and inform you all that as of today, our class participation rate is 53%. That is the highest class participation rate in Elizabethtown College's gift-giving history. Not only that, but we also raised the highest amount of money for our class gift than any preceding class. Those are two incredible accomplishments, and I hope all of you are as proud as I am. Elizabethtown College has instilled its motto of educate for service in us, and over the past 4 years, I have seen us uphold it by giving back to the college and the community through our efforts as volunteers and the Senior Gift Campaign. It is an honor to be able to give something back to the place we have called home for the past 4 years. So on behalf of the class of 2012, it is my honor to present President Strickwarda with the Scroll of Honor, which represents this gift and lists all of the names of those who contributed to help make this possible. Sorry. Thank you very much. Class of 2012, it has been a pleasure getting to know all of you. No matter where your life takes you from this point on, don't forget the importance of hard work and that we are all part of the Elizabethtown College family. Good luck in everything you do, and remember, as the new saying goes, we are Blue Jays, always. Thank you.
Members of the class of 2012, good afternoon. As a member of the class of 1991 and the president of the Elizabethtown College Alumni Association and its governing body, the Alumni Council, and on behalf of the more than 18,000 Elizabethtown College alumni throughout the world, I bring you congratulations and a very warm welcome into the Elizabethtown College Alumni Association family. As you will soon come to realize, E-Town alumni share a common bond regardless of our class year, our major, or our program, which was forged by our time here at Elizabethtown. For each of us, Educate for Service grounds our educational experience and guides our way of living. We look forward to your continued engagement with the college through the Alumni Association. Whether you accomplish this by mentoring future students, attending homecoming, participating in the Pride program, or being active in local alumni chapters, you now have the opportunity to continue your relationship with our alma mater in new and very meaningful ways. I wish each of you much success in the future and truly look forward to seeing you at future alumni activities. Remember, you are now and forever will be Blue Jays, always. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you, Amanda and Joe. We've come to the end. Graduates of 2012, remember. Remember that your real education is within. We've recognized your accomplishments by giving you grades, recording student credit hours, and finally awarding a degree. But like an iceberg, the greatest part of your education lies beneath the surface. Remember that when you face challenges in the future, it will be the character that you've shaped that will enable you to meet those challenges. Remember, your education never ends. The root of the German word for self-education, Bildung, captures this truth. It's the same root as our word, to build. You've been building your ability to understand the world and to have an impact upon it. Remember to keep on building. Remember that the most satisfying life is one that embraces a moral vision, one of peace, social justice, and human dignity. Remember that Educate for Service means serving others with your education. Remember that you did not educate yourself alone. Your parents, your family, your advisor, your teacher, your coach, your roommate, your supervisor on your campus job. Remember them, and remember all your life to learn from others and with others. Finally, remember that much was given by many, many people over many years to create and sustain Elizabethtown College in order to educate you. Remember to give back someday so that others can stand in the future where you stand now. Let us go in peace, and yes, let us remember this day. Will you all stand for the alma mater?
We hail thee, alma mater dear, as now we sing thy praise. Oh, let thy walls and storied halls resound with endless lays. We love thy sons so noble, thy daughters fair and true. We love thee ever, O EC, and thy colors gray and blue. The strong and fair alike do share the labors of thy hand. Together they proclaim always thy glory through the land. We love thy sons so noble, thy daughters fair and true. We love thee ever, O EC, and thy colors gray and blue. As long as breezes round thee blow and countless ages roll, may heaven's blessings on thee rest while we thy name extol. We love thy sons so noble, thy daughters fair and true. We love thee ever, O EC, and thy colors gray and blue.
And now, the benediction. God of all our tomorrows, challenge these, our newest alumni, to connect knowledge with virtue, to link competence with character, and to seek both greatness and goodness. And now may the Lord bless us and keep us, all who leave this place today and all who sojourn here in the future. May the Lord make his face to shine upon us, be gracious to us, and give to us and to the entire world peace. Amen.